Jones from Pieceful Solutions, and I'm back again for another training tip, this time a different exercise on the ground. Lately I've really been educating my own self and really trying to come up with new innovative ways to train my horses. What I'm going to show you today isn't really super new and innovative, but it's just something small that you can really start working on with your horses. Valencia is my 8-year-old Morgan mare, my newest horse that has come to me. I've had her under saddle for about a little over a year now, and she's an older horse. Morgans tend to be super soft through the neck. They're easy to bend through the pole joint. But the other section of the body that has really been helpful in bending and flexing for every horse that you're going to sit on is down here in the deep neck muscle. Okay, so this joint right here, where the horse actually bends and flexes. So let's just talk for a second about the two joints that I talk about when I do train. The pole is the highest point of the horse's head. A lot of people talk about bending at the pole or flexing at the pole. And what I want you to think about more is, like I said, the pole is the highest point of the skull, so not a lot happens with the skull. What we're talking about is the pole, and then C1 will start right about here. That's the horse's atlas. In between, right about here where the horse's bridle runs, that joint is going to be where we're going to flex the horse's head and neck. So right in this area is going to be where I can ask V's head to come to the left or go to the right. In this area, I don't want a lot of flexion, and the horse isn't really capable of a ton of flexion. What they're capable of, though, is twisting. So that's what I'm trying to stay away from and avoid. So basically, whenever my horse will flex or bend to the left or to the right, I want to act like I'm putting a ruler over their ear, and I want that ruler to be level and even. So if at any point one ear dips lower than the other, then I know I'm starting to twist the cervical vertebrae. Now, one of the things that I've kind of gotten away from over the years, and when I started doing natural horsemanship and breaking colts for a living, one of the things we used to do all the time was making sure that their neck was supple and bending and soft. They have 7 vertebrae in the neck, and the neck is the most supple bending section of the horse. So it's very easy to start bending the horse left and right. But what I found over the years is that I started to bend the horse left and right through the neck, nothing was really happening through the back. So I would get the horse moving and I'd really get some nice bend and flex, and then the horse would be straight through their back, and I was ending up with a horse that would run sideways and bend. So what I found over the years is if I start to get the joint to flex in this area, and then I come down to the base of the neck, it works out a little bit better. So this is a really simple exercise. All I'm going to ask V for is I'm going to ask her to flex that deep muscle joint right at the bottom, and I call these deep neck bends. It's super simple. I'm just going to walk back and forth just like this. Now, your horse might start spinning in circles, they might start moving backwards, they might start moving their feet, and one of the things that's really easy to do with this is to get a lot of twist, a lot of turning, because people tend to go like this with their hands. So V's bent that way, right? People tend to come here and up. Okay, can you see how right away her head is bending? So now her chin is coming towards her shoulder, and she's got an awful head tilt that's starting to happen for her neck. I, as a trainer, want to stay away from that at all costs. I've done so much research and done so many classes with anatomy and physiology professors, things like that, to the point where I really want to make sure that I'm doing right by my horse. And this is the easiest way I've found to do so. At the same time, you want to make sure that your horse, now see right there, V had too much bend and flexion. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to help her with the outside rein to try to stay a little bit straight. Now she thinks that she needs to move the shoulder, and it's fine. If she wants to move her feet, she doesn't understand what I'm looking for, I have no problem with that. But I just want her to be a little bit more straight. Right there, I'm just going to release her with her head and her neck. So again, this section is what I'm after. It's what I'm aiming for. That she's just going to come to the side directly. Good. It's not bad. I wish she would have a little bit more straightness in her head. There, that was much better. Just going to help her once again so we don't have a lot of twist. There and to the side. Now, I'm not one for seesawing. I'm not one for rocking. I don't want Valencia to lean on my equipment. Okay, right now, she's not really quite sure which direction she's supposed to go. I have about 1 or 2 pounds of pressure on this bit. This one in my left hand, this rein, I'm just asking for that bend. Right there, when she comes off my equipment, comes up with her head and neck, I'll take that because that's the direction I'd like her to head. Let me just face her towards the camera. See a little bit more head on. Okay, I'm going to ask her to bend to the left. And again, simple exercise in thought. Execution of it is a little bit more of a different story. But just take your time with it. It's not even like I'm adding a ton of pressure. It's very, very light. I want her to understand more so the direction that I'm aiming towards, not to lean down on my hand. If I need to pick up with the outside rein, I'll go ahead and do so. And I just want to make sure I don't release on a lot of twisting and weird contortions in her head and neck. And you'll notice to the right, see right there, she dipped. To the right, she's a little bit better than she is to the left. This isn't perfect yet. I'm not crazy about how her ear is dipping on the left. I'm just going to try and meander her around a little bit. Just see if I can help her. Anyway, okay, I'll take that. And if she's really leaning or pushing or hanging, I'm just going to do my best. Now, see, that's probably the best one she's given me. I really like that. And she's helping because she's really not doing this exercise perfectly. I have not worked on this exercise a lot with her. So she's being a great demonstrator. There. I can tell you what you don't want to do. Don't bend your horse all the way back like you're doing the carrot stretch if you would have a carrot back here. I don't want her bending all the way back there. Okay. If we had a line that came right about here and across, don't bring her nose beyond this point because then you're going to get nothing but head tilt. So I want her to try and bring her head and neck as close as she can to this line without the ears tilting. That was actually the best one. Can you see how she just tried to move her shoulders? So it would be more like if the camera was the television and I was forced to sit in a chair this way and somebody told me to watch the television. Okay, and I just had to sit here in this chair this direction and watch that television. Eventually what I'm going to want to do is turn my chair so that I can see the television head on. So that's basically what the horse tries to do with their feet. They don't understand why they have to bend, but they can't move their feet in that direction. So just be patient. It's not too bad. See? Good. And then what will start to happen is the horse will start to be able, lovely, to bend back and forth. Much more easier, simple, straightforward, without a lot of bending or leaning. Just up a little bit. No, you're okay. Right here she thinks back up. There you go. He's a thinker. She's always trying to get the right answer. That's what I love about her. She's just an overachiever all the way. So when you're working with your horse at home, just be patient and try to help them find the right answer. Sometimes they're going to go a little too low. Sometimes they're going to be a little twisty. Sometimes your hand's not going to be in the right direction. But just make sure that you're opening the bit. Don't bring the bit straight back because what that's going to signal to the horse is to bend down and in, more like a vertical bend, or you're going to signal to the horse to come and twist, because if I came back this way, I'm going to get the head to bend in that direction. So always make sure that your hand is guiding out and to the side. And then remember, your outside rein is going to straighten. So if the horse comes to the left, but their head starts to tilt, then you can pick up the outside rein to see if that will help them to start to straighten, because that's going to be the same thing you do under saddle. So I would eventually teach this on the ground to be able to take it up under saddle. So that is the deep neck bends that you can do with your horse. Again, super simple concept, but it can kind of be a little bit hard to execute if you don't have the right things in mind. So just make sure that you aren't getting cervical twist, because that's one of the biggest things. Don't allow the horse to lean on your equipment, and just go at the horse's pace so they can bend left and then right to the right direction, come back to the left. The other thing that this is really going to help with is if your horse starts to get stiff in the center, that little 4-inch bend is so hard to get. Once you get past the 4 inches, the rest of it's pretty easy. But it's from a straight position to 4 inches and a straight position to 4 inches that gets a little complicated. So you're really teaching your horse to be really flexible from the left to the right. So I hope that simple exercise helps you. If you have any questions, feel free to visit my website at tarajonestraining.com. I want to thank Miss Valencia for joining me on this video. Thank you all for watching. And if you have any questions, you can contact me on tarajones7@yahoo.com. So I hope all of you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching.